So, guys, good evening, everyone, and let's start my talk. So, can I switch to the first slide, please? Okay, no, sorry. Okay, so let's pretend you don't see my theme here, because I want to start a little bit from the far and to speak about all of us. So, during the last decades, we felt ourselves really the kings of digital world. So no, we developers and no bytes move without our will or our permission. So we go to different industries, we disrupt them, we digitalize them, and so on and so forth. And we are really, really the kings of this world, so the top of the ecosystem. And no line of code is written without our permission or our will. Of course, there were, and the world accepted this and started paying us a tribute. So you know the FusionWorks and Orange have big salaries because of this. Of course, there were ones who tried to resist, some like low-code, no-code platforms, but they were really small and miserable and not flexible, so no competition. But at some point, by ourselves, we did something which beat our own tail. This becomes the AI. So initially it looks like, again, a great toy. So we were going to digitalize marketing, so all these market people do not like mess under our legs while we're doing great stuff. But it surprisingly started producing a production-ready code. And nowadays, it's no longer a hype. So our company, the FusionWorks, and many other companies will already shipping the products to our clients, which have about 50, sometimes 70% of the code developed with AI. And so my question to all of you is, if this is the end of our profession, or this is a big chance of transformation. And to go further, if there is any UI developers, can you raise your hands, please? Or clap your hands so I know how many UI developers are here. Okay, guys, I really hate you. No, you, don't take me wrong. You're very great, so you're writing some things I, as a former backend developer, I can't do. So I can't understand all this CSS magic and React, and sometimes it's magic for me. But the thing is that if there is a good designer behind your shoulders, most of you produce the UI with the terrible UX experience. So you write great code, well structured, all good, but it's not usable. You forget different error messages, hints, I don't know, the flow, the buttons are placed wrong ways. You're producing. And if you think about how you were educated, so you were mostly educated how to write React, so you were not educated how to write something useful. So it's like all the courses which teach you around you, they teach you to write the React, I don't know, JavaScript, whatever framework. And I think this is happening across all the industry. We a little bit lost the purpose of what we are doing and start focusing not on because the customers want value from us. And we start focusing on how beautiful our code is. But if you think about our what we are doing, we are actually like a oil refinery. So a refinery takes a crude oil. We take the crude information from requirements from our customers, their pain points, their aspirations, and transform this information into other kind of information, which is our source code. And this information brings value to the customers by doing something they really need. And the customers do not care how we work internally. They want this transformation to they want this transformation to happen with a certain quality, within the budget, and as soon as possible. But what we are doing, so inside this factory, while we say we do we transform the world, but we're doing this in a medieval style of because all we do is just limited to the speed of our typing. We can't write requirements faster than we type. We can't write tickets faster than we type. We can't deliver code faster than we type. So again, like in medieval craftsman's time, everything is bound to our hands, and this should stop at some point. So I see the AI as a big transformation tool which finally brings industrial revolution to our industry. And we, as a company, we internally, like a year ago, we started a transformation, trying to transform what we do into a real software factory when people and AI machines work together. And further, I would like to share my experience, our most important points, which we gained from that experience. So, and first of all, I would like to say this. So, fuck why. Oh, sorry, I want to. I didn't want to say that. I just want to there. So yeah, because the vibe coding itself is, if like typing code by hand is a craftsmanship, the vibe coding is like just a witchery, a magic. So they will be burn in the Inquisition, because this is another unstructured approach. And what I want like to talk is how we do this in a structured way so that we get predictable results. And let's start first with the data. So, you know, we, when we do the development, we talk a lot. We discuss with our customers, we talk at our stand-ups, and a lot of this information gets lost or gets a bit corrupted because we first talk and then someone writes that down. So, but as you remember, we are the factory which transforms one type of data into another type of data. So we need to capture all this raw material. And if you, for example, pay attention, I now have a headphone in my ear, which actually records all my conversation, because on Monday, the marketing will come to me and say, okay, we need a LinkedIn post from you about your speech at the conference. So, and I don't want to spend much more time on that, just like recognize what I was talking about and writing some summary. I already have a LinkedIn like agent tuned for my writing style. I will give him a transcript, and he will give quite a decent post. So this is my thoughts. This is it's my writing style, but I get this like in 5 minutes instead of half an hour. So, and you can do this the same. So you can start with the simple things like bring in, let's say, AI transcriptors to your online meetings, or simply put in a phone with a recorder on the table when you have an offline meeting with the team, and catch all the information, all the decisions you discuss there. The second important thing is that you not just focus on implementing AI for writing code. You actually implement it in every stage. So from writing requirements to writing tickets, and even, for example, for salespeople doing the project estimations. By the way, we benchmarked that. So we did like 3-4 projects when we were doing the estimations with the AI and with the humans, and we were getting very close results. So it's, I would tell you, it's a pretty valid case as well. Because if you do not do this, so you will get this combination of like horses and turtles in your company. So when some parts will work fast, but another parts were not catching up with what other parts are doing. Yeah, and at the moment, I would like to say a bit sorry to the AI, because I called him machinery at the previous slide. But actually, and you will soon understand what is important. If we need to understand that the AI, as it was developed, is actually very close to what we are, because the neural networks itself, it was like it's our best attempt actually to model our brain and to model our process, how we think and how we learn. And saying this, we should understand that AI is not a magic wand. Like none of us people are. So you can't just take a random person from the street and ask to do some job in your company. First of all, you interview people, you find the right qualifications, you then spend days, sometimes weeks onboarding into your company context, into the project context. And if you would like to use the AI, you should act the same way. You should select correct models. You should write correct system prompts. And you also remember that information that we collected. We need to provide the access to that information to the AI. So now, when it was all started, it was pretty a problem. But now we have quite a big infrastructure around this. So first of all, RAG, we know it's kind of time on the market. And recently, MCP, which is also a great tool. So both RAG and MCP, they have their odds and ends, and you should select based on units. And also, there is something, it's my name, so I invented it. It's a force push when you just say, OK, yeah, here's the source code. You need to know that. And this is also a good approach, like pushing some information directly, not just letting AI to search through your wiki or project documentation, because, just again, so it's again analog with people. So if you give to someone access to your company wiki, some people may not find the right information because they don't know what to search for. So do not hesitate to push information to the AI which you consider important. And also, you need to think about how you put tasks on the AI. So just, again, analog with people. So if you tell to the UI developer, just place the button there, the developer will place the button, but maybe he will forget to do some other things which you think he should do, because he's not knowing the context why the button is there. So usually the best result with human you get when you at least a little bit explain why that button is there. And with the AI, it goes even further, because just imagine, so how many, let's say, login forms you do per year? Maybe 3, 4, 5, of course, it depends on the scale of the projects in your company. But AI have seen the millions of those forms. So he has experience with the millions of those forms. And when you not just explain him put a text field, then another text field below, and then the button. But if you tell, so we are doing the login form, which needs to be, has this validation, should have these security features, he can go into his brain and to look through all the millions login forms he's seen when he was educated, and bring some features you even haven't thought about or you forgot to mention. So when you do these value-focused tasks, it brings also its expertise on the table, not just like a slave do what you want. The next important thing, and this is why I said about the thing about the vibe coding, you really need to build then with all these AI machines and humans cooperating with that in a conveyor style thing. When the results, so the information is transformed in steps and is passed from one node to another. This gives you, first of all, the clarity of what you're doing, and then it gives you the possibility to repeat if something goes wrong. So remember, if a developer does something wrong, so usually he calls for 2 days, and then you review his results and say, oh, no, you selected the wrong solution for that. Yeah, it does this for 5 minutes. So the results, you can actually throw them away and retry a bit tuning the initial conditions, but only in case you have the result from the previous stage fixed. And the last but not the least thing is, unfortunately, we need to fight with ourselves and change a lot of our mindset, because we people, we are very resistant to changes, even to the good ones. And if you say, okay, But really, this AI is hype. But remember, in the Middle Ages, there were people called Ludites. I don't know if you went to the school and taught this, but who were resisting the machines on the factories. This was like in England in the 16th century. So people were literally breaking the machines because they were considering this to be some like devil things. And they were like thinking this will like totally like leave us without any job. So unfortunately, I see this sometimes, this resistance among the developers when developers say, oh, just leave me code, I like coding. But remember what I started with. So customers do not want code, they want the result. And we need to to persuade and to change the team's mindset that actually with AI, each developer becomes a small team leader. So he needs to mentor the AI, he needs to put tasks, and then he needs to evaluate the result. Because what he is passionate about now is not about like the structure of the code or how it's written, but about the result he produced, and that he produced this result not in weeks, but in days. And this is what drives him further. So, and here's something. So this is like main takeaways from our journey. It's still in the progress, but we really bid on this, and we even started building our own software which helps us and cooperates with other AI tools, the engine AI. I will give you a link to it later if you want to try to use it in your company as well. But this is also some points which excite me in this transformation, and some of them are not that obvious. So, first of all, our documentation started to finally matter, because you know no one reads companies' coding guidelines. Only when someone rejects your pull request when you start reading, oh yeah, it was there, so yes, sorry, I need to fix that. Our tests finally started to matter, because before, okay, we can test manually the changes, we can review the change, so we kind of can skip that a bit. But AI can produce the code at such a scale that puts really hard cognitive load on any of the humans. And if we don't have any automation about like verifying those changes, we are doomed. Another thing, you know, there's like discussion if this AI will reduce the amount of jobs in the IT or not. And my belief that it will increase, because the digitalization itself will become more accessible, and many areas will be digitalized where like it was not even like feasible before. So just my personal example. This year, my son, by the way, he should be somewhere in the staff here, so he's working. Alex, hi. And say hi to the father if you in there. Okay, he's not in the hall. But he was going to the 10th grade, and you know there's exams, and there was like a limited number of places. And my wife was a bit worried about like him getting into the 10th grade. And when I went to our school portal, so I realized that it's very hard to understand if he's getting into the quota or not. So I decided, okay, I will just quickly write a scrapper for that website, and which will send the results to my wife, so she stay calm. But I looked into the website, I found that there is like actually a GraphQL API. I took the results, I sent to the AI, explained the problem, asked him to write me requirements based on my problem. Then based on those requirements, I wrote, like also asked him to write the tech stack documentation, like an architecture approach. And in a day, I was owning the best school statistics portal in Moldova, which then I spread across the parents' chats, and and my parents were very grateful, because this gives them an insight on where they actually should apply, to which school, where is free places, where is no places, and if they pass the mark. So And actually, these changes, this is something which makes me excited about IT again, because I'm in the industry like for like 20, 25 years, and it was becoming a little bit boring, and now it becomes really turbulent, and I love this, and I love that I can build these software factories. Instead of just building each time a new piece of software, I can build the software which builds the software. But but there is also some things to doubt, so not everything is like straightforward. So first of all, the education, I really don't have an answer what we should teach the next generation of the IT specialists. My guess is that we should more focus on the, not the exact languages, but on the more on the fundamental knowledge. And the other question for me, and if you saw the last presentation of the OpenAI, is if this is and actually not to our profession, but the classical software as we know that. Because many of the UIs we build and many other things is just like, because we didn't have this, some companions can just deliver or generate UIs on the fly. Now it looks like it may change, so we may need to we may no longer need that classic source. But this is again, this is a great open question about that. And having said all this, one thing I also need to warn you, because you should not act blindly while implementing your software factory. You also need to consider all these hallucinations, all the security things, and also you need to consider about the data security questions, because as you know, we collect even more data, so we need to keep the data safe. But again, so I see this as a future, because the progress, how the AI is progressing is really amazing. Because you can see this two videos. You know, when the first video was generated in the 23, it was like how this AI is stupid at video generation. Okay, 2 years passed, you see what the current model does. So it's nearly perfect results. And yeah, and here's, by the way, the QR code to our software, the Engine AI, which we're building inside our company. So I guess there is AI skeptics among you, or people who disagree with me. So at the end of the Saturday, we will have like a final discussion here on stage between two people, an AI enthusiast and an AI skeptic. And if you are an AI skeptic, you can scan this QR code and come here to stage. Because I already have too many AI enthusiasts, but you also can apply. So I think that's it. Thank you for your attention.